We are just hours away from the first pitch at Kauffman Stadium. That's where we're taking a live look right now. With that being said, I do want to turn things over to outside of the stadium, giving you a closer look. The stadium gates just open. You're taking a look at KCTV5's Neal Jones. Of course, we had to send you out there, Neal. How are things looking so far?
Parking lot is pretty full already, and it's just because it's such a gorgeous day. Of course, Kansas Cityans love to tailgate, and that includes Royals fans. And so there are a lot of families that are out, friends. And I know from years past that it's an annual event for a lot of people in Kansas City to come in, or not just from Kansas City, people from this region of the United States come in and they want to tailgate with their family and friends before the first game of the season, first home game of the season for the Royals. So, Janae, this is a perfect day. A little bit of wind, but the sun's out, very, very warm.
Yeah, I was going to say, I see your hair blowing in the wind. You look like a model out there. I do want to take a look before we continue.
A model what?
I want to take a look at X really fast. This tweet coming in from Jared. He actually just posted this video. Royals gates are open at the K. Fans are lined up to get Bobby Witt Jr. bobbleheads for opening day. We'll be checking in with Scott Reese and Jared Kohler a little bit later. But Neal, what were you gonna touch on there?
Well, first of all, the reason they're inside is they think there is free food. If there is free food, Scott Reese and Jared will show up. I've never known them to be early for any game, but when there's free food involved, they'll go in. But I'm telling you, the only bad thing, I look like a model. I look like a model that's got like the worst haircut in the history of the world. You work inside. You never have to come outside, so you always look perfect. It's not so easy for us.
It's okay. You look good. I promise you look good. So let's kind of break down what we can expect as far as the fans. How is tonight going to play out? What do you think?
Well, it's going to be a huge crowd. It's traditionally a sellout crowd in Kansas City and elsewhere in baseball. And I think that there is some excitement about this year's team for the simple reason that the ownership has spent upwards of $100 million on new players. There are only 7 players on the opening day roster for the Royals this year who were here a year ago. So this is a completely different, it's a makeover. Last year's team was really about trying to see what the younger guys could do and give them a full season to audition, and it didn't go very well. It was the worst record in the history of the franchise. They only won 56 games out of 162. The second worst record in all of baseball. So the Royals needed to make some changes, and they are. And I think it's also driven by the stadium issue. The ownership out here, John Sherman, the primary owner, understands he needs to show an effort to the fans if he's going to get voters to go out and give him $1.5 billion or whatever it is that stadium that he wants to build in the Crossroads would cost. So I think he felt like he had to make a commitment, and they did make that commitment.
Yeah, definitely. All eyes are on the Royals today, especially as we look ahead to the big election next Tuesday. Now, before I let you go, now I do want to touch on the fact that Coach Andy Reid, he will be throwing out the first pitch tonight. How do you think he's going to do? I know of Travis Kelce, he kind of failed a little bit last season. What do you think?
I think the coach is calm. He's a calm guy. He's been around a long time. I'm sure he's thrown out a lot of pitches over his career, both in Philadelphia, and I don't know if he's done it here, but he probably has. I bet he's been asked a million times to throw out first pitches. He doesn't strike me as a guy who's going to be nervous, but I'm going to tell you, I have been out there back in the days when we could actually go out and videotape the first pitch. Now we're not allowed to do that, but back then you could go out and people would be nervous. You go up and ask them, hey, are you going to be nervous about this? And they're like, yeah. This is, 20 or 30,000 fans, whatever it is, and I got to throw the first pitch, and I'm not a baseball player. So I've thrown out a first pitch out what was then the T-Bones. Now it's the Monarchs. I had to throw out a first pitch at one of their games, and I had not thrown. My daughter played softball, so I was used to throwing a softball with her. I hadn't thrown a baseball since high school when I played baseball. And I got up there, and they said, well, you can warm up. Well, I didn't get to warm up, so I'm out there in front of about 1,500 or 2,000 fans, and I bounce it in. I told the catcher, no, give it back. And so I could throw it a second time, and they put both of them on the news. We had a photographer, and I said, only use the good one, and they used both of them, so I look like an idiot. But, what else is new?
I was going to say, I think you should do it next year. What do you think? Give it another shot. this time with the Royals.
I would, if I practiced, if I'd been, yeah, with the Royals, I'm sure they'll want me out here. If this election doesn't go right, I don't think they're going to want me around, period, But it's interesting how this is playing out, Janae. You know how big a story this is, and you've covered it as well. It is a vote that is bigger than just this owner, bigger than just this year's team. It is a millennial. You're making decisions that will affect the next multiple generations of Kansas Cityans to play downtown or to wherever the stadium ends up being. What we do know is that the ownership says they will not play here long term. So Kauffman Stadium will sometime in the near future will be a thing of the past. And that's one of the stories I'm doing today, is to talk to fans, not about the stadium issue, but just about Kauffman Stadium, how much they enjoy coming here, and what this place has meant to so many Kansas Cityans. I mean, there are a lot of people. Our 5 o'clock producer, Tony, and I were talking earlier today, and he remembers coming here with his family and some family friends when he was very, very young and going to his very first game at Kauffman Stadium from out of town. And he said, I was too little really to like baseball, but I remember it very, very well. And I do think there are a number of people, just thousands and thousands and thousands of people. The first Major League Baseball game they ever saw was right here at Kauffman Stadium.
Yeah, so this is an issue where everyone has an opinion. And so, again, we are looking ahead to April 2nd, that election this upcoming Tuesday, and we will continue to keep you all covered. And, Neal, we're looking forward to all the voices that you will get outside of Kauffman Stadium. A beautiful day out there. A little jealous of you. Again, hair just blowing in the wind. You look like a Ken Barbie doll. Love that for you. Okay, I am going to.
No, I look like Billy Idol. Real quick, I'm going to tell you something. I parked legally. Look at all these television stations that lined up on the median that did not park. That's a former Channel 5 photographer right there in the red car, and he parked illegally. He should be ashamed. He went to KU. What can you expect?
Do not call them
Janae,
out.
my camera's dying. I got to go. You got to go.
We'll
My camera battery's dying.
We will talk to you later. Thank you so much for joining us here at the live desk. I am going to direct everyone back to our website, KCTV5.com. We will continue to keep you all covered on opening day at the K. We have so many stories that are now starting to roll in. We'll have so many more live shots as the night continues. So be sure to keep it tuned in here with KCTV5 and download the KCTV5 News app to your smart device so you have notifications coming straight to your phone.